So let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have a little occult chat. This is your host, the Occult View. Ciao. Y'all know I like to listen to a little, meditation music in the background. That helps me to focus when I'm making my videos. I got my tea with my lemon and my sugar in it. Y'all know I love me some hot tea. I know some people prefer their coffee, but I prefer my tea. I love some hot tea. Anyway, let's have a little chat, shall we? I really did not plan on making a video tonight, but child, it's so much going on in the world, and I mean, it's crazy. But shit always pops at the end of the year. And let's talk about that. Let's really talk about it. I really don't believe in New Year resolutions because to me, even within that, and this is just me. I'm not telling anybody else what to do because I don't need. I'm not looking for a cult following or nothing like that. But to me, it puts you in a cycle. And I don't like being in cycles. You know what I mean? So we're at the end of 2025. And I feel like instead of me setting a New Year resolution for 2026, for me, I just like to reflect on what I learned in the past year that we went through. And for me, and the Spirit put it right in my mind, thank you, Divine High Spirit, great, divine, holy, powerful High Spirit. Thank you of all creation. Thank you. What came into my mind immediately was gratitude and transformation. And that is what the year 2025 was for me, gratitude and transformation. I'm not worried about what's going to happen in 2026 because I'm led by the Spirit and I'm protected by the Spirit. And I have people around me that lift me higher. So I'm not worried about 2026. I think sometimes New Year's resolutions can, and don't take this the wrong way, but sometimes they can tinker along the lines of fear mongering because, sometimes when we step into the unknown, the first thing that we do is fear it. And we really don't know what the new year is going to bring because even though time is an illusion, let me just humor me. Time can change, realities can shift, roads and spiritual paths, they change all the time. So that is why I really don't set, I'm sorry, I don't really do New Year's resolutions. I can put my intention spiritually into what I would like to happen. But to set something in stone when we know we live in a world of, how can I put it? We live in an unpredictable world, a world that is very unpredictable. What's the word? Unpredictability? I can't think of the word right now, but y'all know what I'm talking. It's unpredictable. The world is very unpredictable, and the plans you may set, sometimes they may get detoured because of life happening and things like that. Doesn't mean that they won't happen, but it's just that sometimes things don't always go the way that you want. For example, 2025 was the year that I moved out of that apartment that I was living in, and now I live in a beautiful condo, a beautiful two-bedroom condo. As a matter of fact, someone came to visit me, an old friend of mine, and he asked me, he said, "You live here by yourself?" Because he saw how big the condo was. I said, "No, I don't live here by myself," which I don't, but it's my condo, but I don't live by myself. So, but anyway, for me, 2025 was self reflection, and understanding the changes that really took place in our civilization and in people. And 2025 was also about cutting cords and ties of pain of the past. And I'm thinking the past 9, 10 years for me. I had to really go back into that pain and all of that grief that I was dealing with after my friend Christopher Barry died suddenly years ago, back during that time, 9, 10 years ago. And I had to make peace with that. I had to make peace with that pain. And I had to really, really go back into it because it was still lingering. And sometimes it rears its ugly head, but Spirit said, that's okay. You're having a human experience. And what that experience taught me was how to be a more loving, compassionate person. Not necessarily being a pushover, but being grateful for the people that are there that you can still have those physical relationships with. And it showed me how precious love really is. And it showed me that love is very complex. Love is not just one thing. Love has many different complexities to it, and that's what my relationship with Christopher really taught me. And even though I went through all of that grief and all of that pain and all of that after he died, it wasn't in vain because out of that, I became a much better person. Because Christopher, one thing he was a loving, caring person. He was a loving, caring person, no matter what his personal issues may have been. He was a loving, caring, warm person. And, excuse me, he was one of the few black men that I can say that really treated me well in my life. And that just taught me to be a more loving, compassionate person, not necessarily again towards others per se, but towards myself, towards me, and teaching people how to treat me, and teaching people that it is okay to love who you are. And that's what I have learned over the past, I'm going to say, decade. So I'm not looking at this on a year to year contract. I'm looking over the past decade of events that have gone on in my life. There's been loss, but there's also been gain. There's been manifestation. Like I said, I manifested um, this condo for myself. Excuse me, this is something that I've always wanted. I wanted to own a house, but I'm renting a condo and it's very nice. So I'll accept that for now. I'll accept that for now. Like I said, we always want something, but sometimes the universe may send us something else as a, I'll take the baby steps because I'm still young. I'm still young. So I'm taking baby steps and I'll get there eventually. I want to take the slow, steady road. You know why? Because the slow, steady road, that's the person who takes the slow, steady road, that's the person that's going to win. I don't want everything too quickly because there may still be some things that I may need to learn. There may still be some kinks that I can't see that the spirit and or the universe may say, "No, you need to work this out here." So we're gonna, I got a lot of the kinks. I'm getting a lot of the kinks out of me. Or as they used to say when I was a practicing Christian, God puts the press on you to press all of the to get all the good juice out of you, to juice you to get all the good stuff out of you, so you can produce from that point. You know what I'm saying? So I am grateful. What I've learned over the past year in particular is to be grateful and to have gratitude and not ponder on what you don't have, but be grateful for what you do have. That's what I've learned over the past year. You know, that's what I've learned, and some other things that I don't really want to, get into. But I'm just bringing this up because we're at the end of the year, and I remember years ago, the end of the year used to bring so much fear and trepidation, but not anymore. Not anymore. I don't feel that anymore. You know. So that's that. Tyler Perry, I want to talk about this briefly too. Tyler Perry has once again been accused of, let's just say, sexual misconduct from someone who was going to or did work for him, a young man, I don't know, but the young man is suing him for $77 million. And I find that figure 77, I find that very interesting. Those figures, 77 million. Why that amount exactly? Because seven is a very spiritual, high spiritual number that is really connected to the occult. And for me, I'm not really examining whether Tyler Perry did do this or not. That's not my question because everybody has a dark side. Okay? Everyone has a dark side. And the people that you think are these wonderful paragons and these wonderful people, they are the main ones who are behind closed doors doing the most. And he's supposed to be a Christian, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's supposed to be a Christian. My question is, what is really going on with Tyler Perry? And I have a really, really this is going to get a little dark. What I want to know is Tyler Perry aware that these allegations are being made against him? And I'm not really trying to go down no conspiracy theory rabbit hole. I'm not trying to do that. But it's something very bizarre about someone who is constantly being accused. And in my spirit, not because I'm a fan of Tyler Perry and I'm not defending any type of, you know, SAing or anything like that, but I have some questions about stuff. Who is that man that they keep showing us who is supposed to be Tyler Perry? Because to me, that does not look like the real Tyler Perry. I have another question. Why hasn't Tyler Perry come out? And I'm not talking about with these AI voice recordings and words on the screen. I'm talking about Tyler Perry himself. Why hasn't he come out and said personally in a press conference from his home or anything, or even do an interview combating or refuting or denying these allegations? It's the same thing with Monique. Why hasn't he come out publicly against the things that Monique has accused him of? And I know Monique is sitting back now saying, I told you, motherfucker, so. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not saying that it's not true because I don't really like speaking on essaying and all that. I don't really like speaking on that. But what I'm saying is there's something suspicious about these allegations. There's something very suspicious about these allegations. And the fact that Tyler Perry is really not saying anything, he's not saying anything. And I know what people are going to say, well, maybe his lawyers advised him not to. That's not good enough for me. Excuse me. He has been getting accused too many times and too much. This is the second allegation, excuse me, within the same year. And they say that when there's smoke, there's fire. But I'm not looking at it from that aspect. I'm looking at it from an occult and a spiritual aspect. Is Tyler Perry even still alive? The real one? I'm just asking. I'm just, I don't know. Oprah Winfrey. I was watching, briefly watching this guy's video who said that Oprah copyrighted one of his videos about her. I forgot the brother's name. And, you know, he was saying all of the things that, most heterosexual black men say about Oprah Winfrey. And I'm no Oprah Winfrey fan either, like that. Not because I don't respect a strong, powerful, independent black woman who did the damn thing. She's a billionaire. She's a empress. I respect that. I respect that no matter what. I get it, got it. I respect any black woman who is a billionaire, who has her own empire. I respect that. Her character, that's something totally different. I don't have to deal with her on a personal basis, so I don't have to, worry about her character. But this brother was talking about how Oprah, when she was in her prime, in her heyday on her show, she never uplifted black men. All she did was tear down black men, but yet she would basically uplift mediocre, stupid white men who really didn't have much to say or offer besides the fact that they were white. And here's what I have to say about that. What a lot of black men don't understand, I don't know how old that brother is, but he sounds like he could be in my age bracket. Then again, I don't know because some men can sound manly and be young. But here's the thing that black men don't understand. At that time in the 80s and 90s, and this is no offense to black men, but at that time in the in the 80s and 90s, when Oprah Winfrey became a household name, and when she created and started the Oprah Winfrey Show, what people have to understand is that Oprah was trying to get to the top, and she could not get to the top marketing black men because black men were not marketable. Oprah Winfrey is a marketing genius, and she knows how to market her brand, which was the Oprah Winfrey Show, Harpo Studios, etc. Okay, at that time, black men were not really marketable. It's not about being. I'm not saying that she doesn't have bias towards black men. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, from what he was saying, he was talking about all of the all of the white men that she had on her show, talking about spirituality, like Eckhart Tolle and the other men that have been on her show, excuse me, throughout the years. And see, the thing is that that was the market or the audience that she was trying to reach. Most black men are Christians and they are religious and they are, at that time anyway, they're religious. They were religious. Either they were Islamic and they were radical or whatever the case may be. Oprah knew where the money was and she knew where she was going to make and market her best self within dealing with white men, because white men are where and that's where the money is, marketing and trying to reach a white audience. So at that time in the 80s and 90s, black men represented the antithesis of everything that Oprah was trying to produce. A lot of black men were into hip hop and rap and all of those other types of they were in another genre. Oprah was over here in Cleaverville, white fences, white picket fences, happy sunshine. You know, she was marketing to that. That was her strategy. So why would she cross over and start bringing people like Ice Cube and Tupac and all of these other people on her show? Why would she do that? I'm not saying that she should not have done it. This is not coming from a personal, I don't have a stake in this fight. But and I'm playing devil's advocate because I'm not an Oprah fan myself. And then he brought up, well, she unless what did he say? He said something about um the only way she would uplift a black man is if he wasn't heterosexual. Well, you tell me all of the gay black men that were on her show, because I've never seen too many gay black men on her show. Oprah Winfrey marketed to white women, white men, and she marketed to the overall overwhelming majority of people in this country, which were white women and black women and women in general, because I think women outnumber men in this country and probably in the world too, if we're being honest. Her market was women. Her market was not men. And for black men, that it was even lower. It's not, I don't think it was because she necessarily hated black men. Maybe she did have a bias. I don't know. Maybe she did. But I think it was more so about marketing and strategy to bring in that money. And black men were not marketable. They were not marketable. You had a woman that was trying to appeal to white America, her base, and you wanted her to try to embrace the rap culture. Those two don't mix. They don't mix. Now, her personal feelings about black men, you all keep saying that she hates black men, she doesn't like black men. I don't know. I don't know. Because she's with a black man, Stedman Gray. I'm sorry, Stedman Graham. She's with a black man. And I know some people say that, oh, he's just a beard. He's really with Gail King or whatever the case may be. But Gail is still black. So it's like this, to me, it is illogical to constantly say that Oprah is against, in totality, against black men. I just think that black men could not offer her anything. That's that's the whole thing. And black men, you all do the same thing. You know what who was it? Was it Harry Belafonte? I'm gonna look it up. Because you all gonna stop playing these games. We're gonna stop playing these games. If it wasn't either it was Sidney Poitier or Harry Belafonte, I don't know which one. What black actor told Eartha Kitt or Diane Carroll that they would rather be with a white woman because she can get them where they needed to get in their career? The actor who reportedly told Eartha Kitt that no black woman could do anything for him, implying a preference for white women for career advancement, was none other than Harry Belafonte. I knew I heard that from somewhere. Harry Belafonte told Eartha Kitt that black women couldn't do nothing for him. But y'all mad at Oprah for doing her thing? And again, I'm not saying that Oprah is, you know, integrity wise, I'm not saying that she's the best whatever. But she's with a black man. But you all keep spinning this narrative that Oprah hates black men so much. But if Oprah hates black men so much, why don't you all talk about what Harry Belafonte told Eartha Kitt? There's nothing that a black woman can do for me. That's what Harry Belafonte told Eartha Kitt. And that was during Jim Crow. He told her that. But no one talks about that, right? And from what I understand, that left Eartha Kitt devastated. And then that leads me into what I really, and see, I do things in a rhythm here. That leads me into the main apple scrapple of my video. Let me see. Which one of the Williams sisters just got married? Venus. Venus Williams. She recently just got married to a Caucasian gentleman. And black men are going crazy. They're going crazy. They're making all of these conspiracy theories. They're talking about, oh, he just marrying her for her money. Well, if that's the case, that's her decision. But ultimately, why can't you all just wish that sister well and say, hey, listen, she found somebody who possibly loves her. I wish them the best. It's not for me to say whether the marriage is genuine or how he feels about her, whatever the case may be. That's not for me to say. I'll just say I wish her the best and I hope he does love her and I hope they have a good marriage. That's all I'm going to say. But you have Umar Johnson and all of these other black men. Umar Johnson, who is not married, who has had horrible relationships with women, why is it always these men who have horrible relationships with women? Why are they always trying to give um, a relationship advice and always trying to psychoanalyze somebody, especially with black men in the black community? The same dudes that can't hold on to a man or a woman or a job, but you want to give relationship advice? You know why Venus Williams probably married him? Because he listens to her. He probably listens to her. And unfortunately, from what I have read about Venus Williams, and I think her sister's married to a white guy too, and he has money. And see, that's another thing. People are saying, well, he only married her for her money. Well, again, if that's the case, that's her lesson that she has to learn. That's something that she has to find out. Why y'all mad because you didn't get an opportunity to get to the money before he did? Because from what I understand from Miss Williams is that when she tried to get with black men, they played games with her. They were never serious about marriage. They were never serious about being committed. And now that she's found a white man, now all y'all mad. Same thing with Gabourey Sidibe. Y'all talked about that girl's weight. I always thought that Gabourey Sidibe was pretty. Always. You talked about her weight. Yeah, she was a big girl, but she's lost a lot of weight. Y'all talked about her weight, said she would never, could, never would. She has two beautiful children now. She's married to a white guy too. And I'm not uplifting white men. Let me be clear about that. It ain't about no skin color. But what I don't understand is why are black men tearing down these women because they married a white guy? Y'all didn't want them. You called them ugly. You called them fat. You degraded them. You said no black men want them and don't no white man want them. And look what ended up happening. See, the universe had another plan for him, child. I'm not saying that white men are better men. It's just that their values sometimes are a little bit different than black men's. See, white men value relationships, even though they can be toxic sometimes, and even though they can be fucking racist or whatever the case may be. I get it, I got it. But some of them value values and morals. That's just like I was watching Pop the Balloon, the Arlette and BM version. I don't know where they get these black men from Pop the Balloon. These men, when they open their number one, most of them are not even that appealing. That be on Pop the Balloon. You got motherfuckers with wide hips. You got motherfuckers coming on there looking like their eyes all yellow, looking like they just swallowed the crack pipe. Then you got motherfucking niggas on there that look like they arched their eyebrows, look like they're ready to put on lipstick. And you all are subjecting black women to these types of men? So I don't understand what the problem is. You didn't like the Williams sisters. You all kept calling them masculine. You went as far as saying that they're really men. And you know what I find funny? All of those, and I've said this before, but nobody's listening. All of those conspiracy theory videos where they are calling celebrity females men. Do you all notice that they're only calling the black female celebrities men? They've called Angela Bassett a man. They've called Tina Turner a man. They've called Beyonce a man. They've called the Williams sisters men. They've called Michelle Obama a man. But you notice they never say anything like that about white female celebrities. You notice that. They did say that about Lady Gaga, but the only reason they attack Lady Gaga is because Lady Gaga is outspoken. That's why they talk. That's why they talk shit to Lady Gaga, no matter what you may think about her. But anybody that's outspoken, they're going to attack you. I don't understand why is there so much ruckus about women that you claim that you didn't want in the first place. I thought the Williams sisters were men. No, I didn't think that. According to you all, you were calling them men. And now that they have found husbands that apparently love them who happen to be white, now it's a problem. Oh now it's he's going to use her and take all their money. What, a black man can't do that? Oh, he's going to end up killing her. What, a black man can't do that? Because from what I've been seeing here lately, black men and white men have been killing black women. So whatever you say about white men and whatever white men say about you, both of you motherfuckers are running each other a close fucking second. Why is Umar Johnson worried about Venus Williams and Serena Williams when he has a whole daughter that is going through a whole lot of shit? She's only 22 years old. I don't see her posting on social media much anymore. I hope the young lady's okay. He has a whole daughter that he's never taken care of. But he's worried about Serena Williams and Venus Williams. See, this is the end of the year, I told you. And this is, people start tripping. You all are so worried about that white guy that Venus Williams married. I do have a message for them Williams sisters though. Please keep that witch Cora Mastersberry away from y'all. I know she's your mama's friend, but that woman brings a lot of bad juju. That's Marion Barry's widow. Keep that motherfucker the fuck away from your husbands. Okay? She brings bad juju. And nobody listens to me when I say this. I'm telling you what I know, not what I think. I know some things, and that's all I'm going to say. Remember, me and Christopher Barry were tight. We were tight before he died. It ain't what they don't say. It's not, I'm sorry, it's not what they say. It's what they don't say, and it's what you pick up on. That's a whole nother frequency, though. But why are you all mad? I wish her well in her marriage, and I wish and I hope that it is successful. And I hope it is prosperous, and I hope he loves her, and I hope they have many, many blessings in their marriage for many, many, many years. Her and her sister. I don't understand it. I really don't. I really don't. I don't understand why so many people or so many men have an issue with this woman marrying the man of her dreams. Now, if it's a mistake, then it's a mistake. But all of these black men that have so much to say, black men didn't want them. They didn't want them. Black men never want you until somebody else wants you. You know, you notice that? They never want you until somebody else wants you. And just like you all say that white men are insecure about you, you both are insecure about each other. It's on both parts. There's insecurities on both parts. Umar Johnson looks crazy sitting up there talking about Venus and Serena Williams. Their father failed them, and the reason that they married white men is because they don't want to have fully black children because they really don't like themselves and they don't want their children to have to go through. He was trying to psychoanalyze them and say that they basically that they married outside of the race because they wanted to have biracial children, something that did not remind them of their blackness, which is absolutely ridiculous. How about they married outside the race because those men were receptive to them? Those white men, they liked them. They loved them. They liked them. That's why. You know, another thing too, even though now that I think about it, it was really inappropriate. See, black men are not very intimate people. Black men have a problem with intimacy. It doesn't matter if you're gay, it doesn't matter if you're straight, it doesn't matter if you're bisexual. I've noticed this about black men. Black men have a problem with intimacy. Black men have a problem with love, the love frequency. They do. When I was in that Uber last week, remember I told you that the driver said that I had a beautiful, powerful voice? I believe he was either Ethiopian or Egyptian, right? I guess you can say that that's black, but nevertheless, I've never had a black man say anything like that to me. Besides my friend Christopher, he used to tell me that my voice did something to him. But let's just say that they are racially ambiguous, the Ethiopian or the Egyptian Uber driver. I'm going to say racially ambiguous because some of them don't consider themselves black, and I respect that. Okay. Or African American or indigenous, whatever you want to call it. I really don't like the term black, but I'm using it for the sake of the video. I've never had a black man just say kind things to me. Black men have a problem with kindness and being just intimate. I'm not talking about with another man, I'm talking about with women. It's like you all have a bound, it's like you all, to me, it's trauma. It's generational or it can be localized trauma or present trauma, excuse me, where you have a problem with intimacy. You have a problem with communication. Now, even though that Uber driver said that about my voice, when I sat back and I further examined that, I said that was really inappropriate for him to be talking about me that way. That was really inappropriate. It was. He should not have said that to me. That could be looked at as sexual harassment. It really could. But I didn't take it there, of course. I took it as a beautiful compliment, but it was inappropriate. It was. But the point that I'm making is that he was able to give me a compliment and be kind. I very rarely get that from black men. Very rarely do I get that. With black men, like I told you when I went to the store that day, with black men, all I get is attitude. Like the guy that worked in the deli when I told you I wanted some coleslaw, he was so nasty and just so dismissive. That's what I get from black men. And that's probably a lot of what black women get from black men too. And you're wondering why Venus and Serena Williams and Eve and all of these other black women are ending up with white men? You're wondering why? And this is no attack on brothers. It's not. I'm not attacking brothers, but I'm saying it's a bigger picture. So all of that psychobabble that Umar Johnson was talking, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matter what the question that the questions he should have asked, but he does he never well, what should have been said was, and I don't know if it was, to be fair, because I don't really I can't stand listening to his voice. But what should have been said was, damn, why do all these brothers get online accusing sisters that we know are females, naturally born females? Nothing wrong, nothing against, trans women, but naturally born women, natural born woman that has a natural womb that the universe gave her. Why do these brothers get online calling women like Venus Williams men? I'm Venus Williams, Venus and Serena Williams men. Why are they getting online accusing Michelle Obama of being a man constantly? And why is it that when these sisters was in relationships with black men, why did these brothers dog these sisters out? Why weren't these men trying to commit to these sisters? I'm gonna tell you why they weren't trying to commit to a lot of these women, because a lot of those niggas was on the DL. A lot of those niggas was on the DL. And that's what that young man, the DL whisperer, is talking about now. But the DL whisperer needs to be careful, because I see exactly what you all are trying to do. You all are trying to derail him from talking about what he's talking about. And see, sometimes black DL men, they will use black women to derail the conversation, because now they're trying to paint the DL whisperer, excuse me, as someone who doesn't like black women, because he made a post on Facebook basically saying that single mothers needed to do a better job choosing partners, because sometimes that it was his post, not mine. I don't want to get into that. It was his post, not mine. So now all of a sudden, you have black women that are now turning on him. But you know what? That's by design. And I believe that there are DL men that are behind that. Some of them that are behind this happening. Because believe it or not, there are women that will cover up for DL men too. There are women that will cover up and they'll do the dirty work for some of these DL men too. I see exactly what you all are trying to do to the DL Whisperer, because before there was the DL Whisperer, I was the DL Whisperer when I was Shaman Rising, because I was exposing this years ago. But I passed the baton on, not literally, but I'm glad this young man is taking it to a higher level. I'm glad of that. And now you all are trying to deter him and trying to get him. Let me tell you all the reason why I don't allow comments on my channel anymore. Because there was a crazy female who I believe she was white that was making threats towards me, threatening to castrate me back in 2016. And ever since then, I decided not to allow comments on my channel anymore. Because you're not going to threaten me and harass me. You're not going to do that. Because the last person you want to find out your information after you do that is me. And I found out her information. And I believe she was a white woman from South Carolina, North Carolina. I forgot. This was years ago. And guess what? She was old, morbidly obese, had to have gastric bypass surgery. I found out all of this stuff about her. She had been a troll online for years that had snuck into or some kind of way got into black female circles. And the black women that I was cool with back then, that none of them defended me or came to my defense when that bitch did what she did. None of them did. So I see exactly what's happening with the DL Whisperer. He has said nothing disrespectful about women. He is exposing these DL men. And the real reason they've been wanting to have an issue with him because some of these women don't want DL men to be exposed because some of them work with them. Now get mad at me and say something to me. Huh? Because I'll have something for that ass. Meaning I'll have something to say back. So a lot of those men who rejected Venus Williams, Serena Williams, and the other black women that ended up with white men, a lot of those men didn't want women in the first place. That's just like a lot of those men on Pop the Balloon. A lot of those niggas don't want no women. Anytime I'm gonna tell you, you want a red flag? Okay, child. You want a red flag to know if a man is on the DL? This is just one. If all a man talks about is exercising and going to the gym, that's a red flag. Because there are a lot of DL men up in the gym. If your man is living up in the gym all the time, this may not be the case with everybody. You know, you got to say that as a disclaimer. But all the time, if your man is living up in the gym, he's bending somebody over or somebody bending him over, or he's on his knees, or both, all of the above. All you hear those men talk about on Pop the Balloon is some fucking gym all the fucking time. Like, what else do you do? And then you can just tell how they talk to women. If you are a woman and your man talks to you like you're another man, that's a sign that he's having sex with other men as well. Shouldn't no man be calling no woman nigga? Shouldn't no man be calling no woman bruh? Where y'all get this motherfucking shit from? Calling women bruh, 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 bruh. No, that's a sign he's on the DL. That's my DL Whisperer little message for the day. Umar Johnson is always talking about, openly gay people, but he never talks about the men that are on the DL. Is it possible because there are some allegations allegedly that he possibly could be on the DL? He definitely fits the description. And I don't give a fuck who gets mad about what I'm saying. Honey, I'm through all I've been all through the dimensions. I know what's up. I know what's up. All you hear those men talk about on Pop the Balloon is the gym. The gym. And then the women, when they a lot of times when they reject the women saying that the women are not their type, they're looking the women up and down. Well, I just prefer a certain build. Now, a lot of these women have breasts, they have a nice hourglass figure, big butts, all of the things that you would think that a heterosexual man would want. But when the men start rejecting them, I'm looking at the men, I'm looking at the women, and I'll be like, oh, okay, he wants a woman that looks more like a man. So basically, what he wants is a man, or either he wants someone who doesn't look that developed. So that is why Serena Williams and Venus Williams and other black women have turned, or that is why they have expanded their options. And I'm not in support. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I am not advocating for anything or anyone. I'm just giving my assessment without all of the psychobabble based upon what I see. Black women, I'm sorry, black men are very difficult to please. And then you got these big umpa lumpa, and listen, I'm a big guy myself, okay? But you got these big umpa lumpa looking motherfuckers who are not attractive. I'm an attractive big guy. But you got these umpa lumpa looking motherfuckers, eyes all yellow, looking like all they do is drink what is it? Of not vodka. What is it that black cognac all day or whatever? I don't know. Maybe not cognac. But whatever it is y'all drink. I don't drink, so I don't know. Skin look like it got abscesses on it, and you think you have options? There was a woman on there that was a doctor, and they all rejected her, with the exception of one brother. And that was the brother that was on the thicker side. All of the rest of them bitch niggas, they rejected her. She was a doctor. Talking about, oh, well, I like a certain build. Y'all sitting up here looking for all of this, all of these animated fucking body parts and shit that you see on TikTok and porn sites. Then you get with those types of people and you realize they're horror stories. And then you get back on YouTube complaining about black women ain't shit. No, your choices ain't shit. It ain't got nothing to do, it has nothing to do with black women. It's your choices that ain't shit. Same thing with gay men. Y'all do the same thing. Same thing. Although I've never had too many issues. I've never had too many of those issues, darling. No, no, no. I've never had too many of those issues. Most of the men that I've been with, they've been very attractive. Or men that I've been in relationships with, they've been very attractive. Um, and that's all I can say. I and I guess because I carry myself a certain type of way. Even if I do find a guy so attractive and I may want him, I will never approach him. Listen, I'm a little bougie. I'm a little bougie. And I think very highly of myself. I was gonna say too highly. Maybe I do, but I think highly of myself. So therefore, I really don't approach men. I let them approach me. I have a very large presence. You know what I mean? My presence shows up before my physical body does. So usually men gravitate towards me. And I don't say that to be egotistical or haughty. It's just what it is. Men have always been gravitated to. They've always gravitated towards me. Always. I'm not saying that I have perfect relationships with men, but it is what it is. But I just felt like coming on here talking about that. Um, let black women do them. If these sisters are finding happiness with white men and the white men, provided the white men are not racist and they're treating them right and they're treating them like the empresses that they're supposed to be treated like, not a queen, but the empress. Black women are empresses. And if they're being treated the way that they're supposed to be treated, why not? I saw my step grandfather mistreat my grandmother, which ended up putting her in an early grave at the age of 44 from a broken heart because he used to physically abuse her. He emotionally abused her. And it angers me so much that my grandmother's life was cut short in the prime of her life. She didn't get to see her grandchildren grow up or anything. So I don't want to hear shit from a Umar Johnson about Serena and Venus Williams and why they shouldn't have married no white man. Or the reasons was because they're psychologically damaged. No. How about black men are psychologically damaged? Like my step grandfather, who wasn't shit. He wasn't shit. He was a horrible husband and he was a horrible father and he was a horrible grandfather. I mean, he had his good moments, but all in all, that motherfucker was horrible. So don't tell me anything about black women marrying out. They're not marrying out, they're marrying up. How about that? Not because he's white, but because the man that they chose to marry lifted them up. And when I say lifted them up, I don't mean because they were down there somewhere. I mean, you know how they say you want to be around people that celebrate you and lift you up. No, he lifted them up, he celebrated them. That's what that was. That's why they married those men, those particular men, because they lifted them up. They celebrated them. And that's something that black men simply don't do. Anyway, that's what's going on in the world at the end of 2025. I will see you all in 2026 in the new dimension. Anyway, this is the occult view, and I hope and I wish a happy new year to everyone that watches my channel, and peace and blessings. Thank you. Oh, and remember, before I go, this is not personal. This is spiritual, never personal. I love everybody and I dislike everybody at the same time. Life is about balance. Thank you.